Hello and welcome you watching our special broadcast from outside the Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate Independence Day, perhaps a moment to step back and salute our brave hearts, our fallen soldiers, countless fallen soldiers who've ensured that the independence that we celebrate today is worth it. Tonight, for all those who've essentially spoken in that, perhaps in a drift that it does not really matter, question whatever you can see around you, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of it has now been achieved because of the sacrifice that has been made by our men and women in uniform. Perhaps we have that special privilege of having some of our veterans standing with us today, recounting some of those challenging moments. In fact, Major Pawan happens to be one such soldier who's seen this countless counter-terror operations, deadly counter-terror operations, if I may say so. And let's not forget, it's been hard-earned. On my right-hand side is Group Captain Goyal. Group Captain Goyal, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. As I was asking our previous guest too, it's a hard-earned independence for India. As the Prime Minister says that we ought to move ahead, leave behind the colonial baggage. I want to ask you one question, Group Captain Goyal. Your time within the force, the challenges that you all actually witnessed up front, at that point in time, many would say that could we really have seen India where we are witnessing today? What is it that went through your mind then and what is it now? And could you still imagine that you perhaps would be seeing a day in the Indian Air Force today where with this, we have got the state-of-the-art technology. We've got fighter jets, which many would say for the longest time we were longing for. Today we have achieved many. The road lies ahead, which is ahead of us, perhaps would be full of challenges. But where do you see India today standing?
Thank you. At the outset, I want to convey my heartiest congratulations to the fellow Indians on the 77th Independence Day of India today. Yes, coming to the question, I joined the Indian Air Force almost half a century back. I was in the air defense, that is the defending the country, being attacked by the air. So talking of those times and today, we have really made landmark achievements. If I look back, those days we were operating Gnats and Sabres, the 77 vintage aircraft. And today we have Rafales, the latest technology. Coming to the radars, we were the first generation radars we were using. Today we have got airborne radars and airborne control system. We used to go to the border to control our aircraft. The air defense personnel used to move to the border and from there only we could visually see the enemy and we could control our aircraft. Now, sitting anywhere in any corner of India, a fighter controller can control the war scenario on the border. Right. This is the sea change which I can see. Those days, now coming to communication, those days we used to have only landlines in the field. We used to lay copper wires to communicate with each other, and we used to have the battery operated phones where we used to operate from. As on today, there's a satellite communication available. Those days, American Air Force used to operate on satellite communication when we used to operate the landline. Now we have reached the same status as the most advanced air forces of the country. So this is the sea change. Coming to the, what we can foresee, we have already received all the facilities to fight in the air, but now the next is the space wars. The Indian space program can perhaps take us now next to that level where India can defend itself in the space also. That is what I feel.
Can I just take one quick question with Major Pawan, if you permit, Nikita, because as a youngster, many a times we become very critical. It's fair enough when you can question what's happening around you. We are critical minds. It's all good. But for a person who has seen several deadly counter-terrorism operations, you did not know whether you want to even come out alive. That very moment you were fighting for the nation to protect those very citizens. And allow me to say this, we were talking at a time when our own forces were being attacked by our own people in several places, be it the LWE or for that matter in Kashmir. We've seen how our forces have been attacked. Was there a moment at that point in time, Major Pawan, where you would say that, what am I really fighting for? Did that ever come across your mind that, kiske liye, after all, for whom am I doing this?
No, never. This has never been a situation with any of the soldiers, because how much ungrateful our citizens can be, but still those soldiers have taken an oath for saving their country from the external enemies. They cannot fight with the internal enemies. They can fight with the external enemies, and for that, come what may, like what happened during those times of 2016, 2017, there were huge stone peltings were going on in our Kashmir, South Kashmir.
Right.
Daily, what we used to hear, I was based at Uri, in Uri sector. So in Delhi, whenever we are coming back from our operations, what we used to do for our leisure time, we used to see TV
Right.
and news and everything what is happening in the country. So what we used to see in those days in TV is that like there were chaos here in JNU and everywhere, in left wings, everywhere. There were like, we want Azadi, we want Azadi. But
Right.
still, we were there, we were daily going to operations. We did not stop ourselves. Nobody stops themselves for the
Right.
ungrateful citizens. We must always make endeavors to
Right.
be a citizen worth dying for.
Well, Major Pawan, I'm really sorry to interrupt you and Colonel Ankita and Group Goyal, because we're going to cut across to the Wagah border right now. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this broadcast. It's always a privilege to have our veterans on our show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.